Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for logging on to your CBS News Colorado Daily Sports Line for Monday, January 31st. I am Michael Spencer. You can always follow me on Twitter at MichaelCBS4. And we are, as always, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Coming off a really, really good Sunday in the NFL. I told you last Monday that I liked the Bengals plus 7.5. It closed at plus 7. Didn't matter what number you got because the Bengals obviously win that game outright. So that cashes as well. I also told you on Tuesday that I was going to take a futures bet on the Bengals plus 800 to win the Super Bowl in hopes that we would eventually hedge on that. So now we're going to talk about the hedge in just a minute. But I also told you to take a teaser of the Bengals plus 13 and the 49ers plus 9.5. That cashed as well. So a really, really good weekend for us in the NFL. Turns out you didn't need the teaser after all because the straight up would have cashed, but better safe than sorry in that situation. Now let's get into the line for Super Bowl Sunday, and let's look at this. The Rams are now -4. I told you last night on Twitter. That's why I give you my Twitter handle every single day. Follow me on Twitter. Rams was open at -3.5. It immediately moved up to -4 at some books. It was still at 3.5 on BetMGM. I told you there, get it. If for no other reason than it's good value. It's already at -4. I would expect it to go up and maybe even close at -5. Going to be really interesting to see what happens over the next week and a half, 13 days to this line. Rams -4, I don't love it as much as -3.5. I still think there's some value, though, because I expect it to go up. I think the Rams win this game. I think Cincinnati's a really good team, no doubt about it. I just don't know how the Bengals are going to protect Joe Burrow against Von Miller and Aaron Donald and the rest of that Rams defense. Yes, I know they gave up 9 sacks to Tennessee and ended up winning the game. That's not happening against the Rams. Why? Because the Rams have a much better offense than the Titans did, specifically in that game against the Bengals. So I like the Rams to win. Let's talk about what we did with the Cincinnati Bengals, though. So I told you to put a quarter unit on plus 800 for the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. So if you do that and you stay with it, you're going to be up 200 if they win the Super Bowl. That's going to win you $200. Your total return would be $225, assuming that a quarter unit for you is $25. The hedge calculator here tells you to put $147.41 on the Rams money line at -190. And what that is going to do is it's going to net you a profit either way of $52.59. Choice is up to you, right? You can ride it out. You can put less money on the Rams. You can put more money on the Rams if you want. But that's what the hedge calculator says. I use the one on Action Network. You can find that hedge calculator just by typing it in Google. But again, when I look at this game, I think the Rams win. I love -3.5. If for no other reason than the value, I think you could probably get a middle situation here. If this goes up to like Rams -6, you can get the Bengals +6 and maybe hope that there's a middle situation there if it's a 4 or 5 point game. I don't know that that's necessarily the strategy you want to entail here or use, but something that you could do in that game. All right, some other thoughts for you tonight as we wrap up here. We got a couple college basketball games we'll be keeping our eye on. Colorado State -1.5 at Wyoming. The over-under for that is 144.5. I'm going to stay away from this game, but if I had to make a lean, I would take CSU, especially after a disappointing performance at home on Friday. I think they bounce back tonight and beat Wyoming. Northern Colorado -3.5 at Portland State. The over-under in that one is 151.5. But again, my best bet, which I gave out on Twitter yesterday, which we will use for the record, Rams -3.5 in the Super Bowl. We'll get more into Super Bowl futures, some prop bets and everything as the week goes on. And we got a busy day of sports tomorrow with the Avalanche and the Nuggets back in action as well. For now, though, that is going to do it for your CBS News Colorado Daily Sports Line for Monday, January 31st. We are, as always, brought to you by BetMGM. Place your parlays, props, and futures at the King of Sportsbooks. Download the app today.